Hi, welcome to Attitude of Altitude, Mindset of Happiness weekly video series. My name is Floria, founder of Recognize Your Potential, and I am thrilled for you to joining us here today, as well as my very special guest, Dr. George Frempong, Director of Research with Delmore Badide Learning Institute. Welcome, George.
Thank you, Floria.
As you may have heard, that we have also done two-part series of podcasts. So today you you might hear some of it, but the podcasts give you a much more detailed information. But we also wanted to take the opportunity to do a short video on growth mindset. So, Dr. Frempong, tell us about your research uh, and your work in terms of growth mindset. And maybe you can actually start explaining what growth mindset is.
Okay, thank you, Floria. Maybe I should start with my background. Um, I am originally from Ghana. Um, I've worked in so many countries, including Canada, South Africa, Swaziland, and I've been to so many countries around the world. I got my master's and PhD mathematics education from University of British Columbia, where I did my PhD thesis on mathematics education and how growth mindsets play a critical role in helping kids to learn. My research used a large data sets, an international data sets, and the research was referred to as what TIMS, the Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study. Okay, where I use the data from Canada, South Africa, and Ghana to understand how students are able to do well in mathematics, which largely depends on their what they call the growth mindset, and then how the places where they learn, which includes the school and the community, also tend to have what I called a collective growth mindset. Growth mindset is a term coined by Carol Dweck, Professor Carol Dweck, who framed that idea that kids are able to succeed, especially in learning, when they believe that the talent that they have is just their initial ability to do or are able to be successful in learning. But then they also have the belief that they can build on those talents, and with effort and then with the support, they should be able to do whatever they set their minds to do.
Okay. Very interesting. So that means that we can no longer just blame DNA that I don't have.
Exactly.
The math DNA or science DNA.
Exactly. In my life as a teacher, as a researcher, I've heard a lot of people complain that, oh, I can't do maths. I'm not good in maths. And my response to them is always that, yes, you can't do maths now, but if you work so hard, if you believe in yourself, then you should be able to do mathematics. Those who say that they can't do it, they don't have the talent, we refer to them as having what they call a fixed mindset. They think that they can only do things that they have talents for. But then, as a teacher, as a parent, we need to make people believe that they can do things beyond what they think they can believe. Yeah. And that is what growth mindset is all about.
Very important, George, is that the emphasis on the mindset of the believing in yourself or in your students or in your capabilities, rather, and yes, applying yourself always is helpful, but it's that mindset of believing that I can do this.
Yeah, and that is very, very important in life. The mindset, they believe in themselves that yes, I can. I mean, Obama, talked about this a lot during his presidency. Yeah, that we should believe in ourselves and our ability to do things, and the key for that is putting in a lot of efforts. And then, as I said, as a community, as in the school, as a teacher, the greatest damage that you can do to your child, to any child, or to any learner, is to tell that student that you cannot learn maths, or you are not capable of being successful in school. So we need to keep that in mind and continuously, encourage our learners, encourage people to do things that they think they cannot do.
I know as a kid, I always felt that I was not cut out for math, and that's what I was also told. And I never did well. And then as an adult, when I was going to go to school, to university, here at Mount St. Vincent University in Halifax, Canada, I had picked out to do my degree in nutrition, which you need mathematics and sciences. And I didn't have any of it in high school. I had avoided both of them in high school. So, and I thought, no, I was having serious fear and anxiety about that. So, and then I thought, no, I am not going to change my mind. That's the program I want to take, and I'm not going to give in to fear. And the fear was very real, because I had two kids, and I did not want to fail a course in front of them. And I decided that I was going to do well, and I remember it very distinctly, that I was making a choice, that I was going to do this, and it was going to be, I was going to be successful.
Yeah, I also have a story. I recall teaching a course at the University of New Brunswick. I used to be a research associate at the University of New Brunswick, and also assistant professor. So in one of my mathematics teacher education courses, one of the prerequisites was that the students have to pass grade 6 test. And when I gave this test the first time to my students, 3 students couldn't pass. The second time, 2 were able to pass, and then the third one couldn't pass. So in theory, this student had to drop the course. But I decided to offer a chance for this particular student to take the test again, and encourage her that, you should work harder, and I believe that would be able to pass and do well in the course. The student passed this time, and you won't believe it, that student became the best student in that particular course, and eventually went and took more mathematics courses in the university, And that is
Wow.
what growth mindset is about. So it's about me believing in her, making her believe in herself, and then I also create, in all my teaching, I create an environment, a classroom environment where students support each other, where students, and that's what I call the collective growth mindset. I made the students believe in themselves that they can do well in mathematics. So with that, and then with my encouragement, this student was able to reverse the thinking, the fixed mindset that he had a growth mindset, and eventually became very successful in mathematics. So that is how critical growth mindset is in helping our kids to learn and in life in general.
This is very important, George, for education system.
Yes.
For our education system, whether it is in Nova Scotia, Canada, or around the world, how many kids are being held back, feeling bad about themselves, feeling like a failure, and not succeeding, not achieving their dreams. And again, you know how much I am of a great believer in that mindset. It is my mindset and those that the teachers, the bosses, the leaders, the professors to also believe.
Exactly. And I think not even only that, as I said, even with the communities that the kids are in, the homes, you should remember that there are three critical learning spaces for kids to learn: their home, their community, and the school. Okay. So if you have these spaces working together, encouraging them, making the kids believe that they can succeed, they should be, the key point is that they must be willing to learn. They must want to learn. Okay. And if we keep encouraging them, making them believe that they can, of course, that doesn't mean that there wouldn't be failures. Sometimes, yeah, of course, you may fail. Just like my student had to fail twice, but we can't give. We can't. We have to continue to help them to think that they can, and once they put in an effort, they will be able to succeed eventually.
This, in my opinion, I've shared with you before that I have been a student, a school, a researcher of my own, not within the university setting, always researching, studying, practicing growth mindset. And it is something that I believe is a vital and foundation, fundamental to our well-being and our success. And again, your research yet again confirms that.
Yeah, it does confirm that. And I think another important thing is also that for human beings, especially for kids, for students, we need to understand that they construct their own knowledge. We can't put knowledge into them. You can't force them to learn. But then, see, the environment that we create, okay, whether at school, as I said, at home, and then within the communities, provide them, see, the opportunities to learn. Okay, so all that we can do is to help them to gain their confidence, make them want to learn, make them believe in themselves, continuously have them in their belief, their consciousness, help them to develop the consciousness that they can succeed in learning. And I think that is very, very important. See, that we continuously, we can't give up. We can't allow them to give up. Continuously encourage them
Okay.
to learn and be successful.
And Um, so instilling what I'm hearing you say is that believing in your students, believing in yourselves, creating the environment for learning, positive learning, and also um, instilling that confidence in the students that they are able to succeed
Exactly.
whatever they set their mind in.
Exactly. And that's what I said initially, that we call maybe the collective growth mindset is very, very, very important. Yeah.
Um, and of course, this is not something that is only limited to school system or within the education, because this encompasses our life, and that's how I have used it beyond the math and sciences, but in every aspect. And I also use the phrase that failure is only a stepping stone. Oh, now I know what doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now I know how not to do something, and taking it to the next level.
Yes.
And I believe Dr. Dweck has also taken it to many workplaces, and that's why it's even become much more popular now than initially, because it was only for school system, and it's all about that mindset of success, mindset of believing in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, as I said, initially started the whole idea started with the schooling system trying to help kids to succeed, and it's been used in other businesses and even in sports. I mean, I'm a Chelsea fan. We know
Ah.
that we know that most of these clubs will buy uh, players with a lot of talent, but that's just the beginning. They also have to work together as individual players and build on their talents. And they also have to work in a team. So there's a collective growth mindset within the teams. And in most cases, that is what helps them to win matches and then win the trophies. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this growth mindset is something that is discussed, trained, practiced within the sports team of all, not just soccer, football, in every aspect of sports. It is being practiced and thought, discussed, researched, because it is the foundation, in my opinion, is the foundation for every aspect of our life, for our being. How we do anything, how we want to continuously grow, learn, have fun at it. And growth mindset. I would love, finally, before we close off, I would love to hear any idea if you have in terms of how did you or would you create that environment for learning?
Yeah, I mean that is very, very difficult to do. As I said, in mathematics, for instance, what we do is if you for learn we're trying to teach a particular concept. You try and link that concept to the background characteristics of that particular student. So you have to understand where the students are coming from, and also, as I said, as a teacher, don't think that you have the knowledge and you will be able to put that knowledge into that child's brain. The way the children interact with each other, the way the children interact with you, the way you create that environment, the way uh, you continuously encourage them to believe in themselves. The way, so I mean, sometimes even in my teaching, I would ask some of the students who even present materials, be the teacher in the class. Let them teach themselves. Make them believe that they working together as a group. In Africa, we call it Ubuntu. I am because you are. We try to help each other. We also have a concept called it takes a village. So we all have to understand and try and help each other as much as possible. But the key thing is that whatever concepts in mathematics, whatever concept the kids are learning, make that concept be real to them. Link that concept to where they are coming from, their community. And that would definitely help them to believe in themselves that they can understand and learn mathematics.
Very well put. Again, I heard you say that it's important to understand where the student is coming from rather than simply teaching a concept or material. It's understanding where the student is and their perspective so that the teaching is improved. And I do that similarly in my work as well.
Yes.
Rather than saying, well, I'm going to teach you to do how to do this, as see, where is he or she coming from and how can I communicate that much more effectively?
Exactly. You build on what the students know already. So we build on what if it's organization, if it's in sports, you have to really understand where the players are coming from, what their current talent is, how you can build on those talents. Yeah. And that is very, very important. Yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, you and I can sit here and talk for hours or days because we're both very passionate about this from different perspectives, different practices. And I really do appreciate you taking time from your busy schedule to come and share some of your work. There, you can learn more about Dr. Frempong's research and work on their website, www. dbdli.ca. So, and I will put the link in as well so that you are able to follow the link and find out more about the work that Dr. Frempong and DBDLI does in Canada, in Nova Scotia, but beyond as well. It's all about growth mindset, and we are all in this together to enhance our capabilities. And until next time, I would, before I forget, I would love to hear from you about this episode or other episodes, what you might like to hear. If you have any questions, always happy to hear from you through my personal email, floria@recognizeyourpotential.com. You can reach me on my social media at Floria Transforms. I'm on all the 4 platforms of LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We would love to hear from you. And if you have any questions for Dr. Frempong, you can either send that inquiry through their website, the DBDLI website, or contact me, and I would be happy to send your question or comment to Dr. Frempong. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And have a fabulous day or a marvelous Monday.
Thank you.